Alright, today we're going to go over some tips or the best way to store your car in the winter without a garage. This is how I'm storing my 2005 Nissan 350Z in the winter, and I don't have space in my garage to store it, so this is what I came up with, how to store it. What I recommend is you want to fill your tank with gas and put some Stabila in it. You want it mostly full because you don't want condensation building up inside the tank during winter. And dryer sheets helps keep the mice and critters away from your car in the winter. I put down some glue traps inside the tent. Just because we have a rodent problem at my house and with our chickens, so I didn't want them coming over to my car. Our glue trap's really going to do anything in the winter? Maybe, probably not, but you know, it's an extra safe step of protection. I got some pea cover. It's bobcat urine, granular bobcat urine. You can get right offline, and I sprinkled that around the inside of the tent, but outside of the car, obviously, because I don't want my car smelling like bobcat urine in the spring. So first step, fill the car up with gas, dump this in, and go from there. So what I would recommend is to put this in first, and then put the gas in, just so it gets mixed in with the fuel. So they tell you to start and run your car for 5 minutes after you put the stabilizer in. That's what we're going to do now. Hopefully it starts. What I also recommend doing is either putting your battery on a battery tender, or putting a battery tender on your battery, or just taking your battery out for the entire winter and storing it somewhere warm. I am going to be taking it out and putting it in my basement, and I might even put a trickle charger on it, or battery tender on it while it's down there, just so I don't lose my battery. So we're just going to let this run for a couple more minutes to get the Stabila cycle through the fuel system, and then we'll shut it down, pull the battery, and push it back inside for the winter. And as you can see, it's kind of becoming a huge toxic mess in here, because unfortunately with this tent only one side opens, so it's kind of exhaust all inside here. So it's probably not a good idea for me to be inside here, but fuck it. You're gonna want to make sure that your coolant is actual 50-52 and doesn't have too much water in it, because it will freeze. I recommend changing oil right before you put it away, unless it's not necessary. I just did mine like 500 miles ago, so I'm not going to do it this year. I'm just going to make sure it's topped off. And just make sure all the food and all the little wrappers and stuff are out of your car for the winter, because it'll just give the little critter something to snack on if they get inside your car. So just better off just cleaning out your car before winter. Another thing you can do is, I don't really see the need, some people do it, is they pump up their tires to say 40 psi. These are 35, so you'll over pump them just in case, you know, they leak or whatever. But I don't really see the need. I do not care about these tires either, because they're dry cracked over here. I'm just going to get new ones in the spring, so you do not care about these tires at all, so I'm not going to worry about that. Alright, I just want to give a quick view of where I placed everything. You know, I put these lavender dryer sheets that's scented. Mice and rats seem to not like the smell of them. I also forgot to mention, but I got some of these mint smelling bags, turnt bags, that I put one in here and one inside the car. And as you can see, I put these sticky traps. I put them right here, right where the doors close, because there is a little gap. That's where Critter is the only place I can get in. And right along here, you can kind of see it. You can see the granular bobcat urine that I sprinkled all around the car, just to keep, you know, a barrier. And in the inside, you can see all the dryer sheets, and that's where I placed the bag of mint inside my car, which smells like lavender sheets and peppermint inside my car. So as the car is running, I'll tell you what kind of tent I used. I used the Shelter Logic tent, which is 8 feet high by 15 by I think 8 feet or 10 feet wide. Just enough to fit my 15-foot long car. Barely fits inside. I used pallets. They're 4 by 12-foot long pallets that I got from a local roofing company. So my advice to you is to definitely put it up on pallets. Before I put it up on pallets, I made a gravel pad, used gravel, made a pad leveled out for my car, then laid the pallets on top of it. I even put, I used 2x8 boards to roll my car up on here because I didn't want it falling through the pallet, even though they're strong enough to hold the car. Just in the case that it did fall through, I didn't want to have to deal with that pain. So yeah, there's that. My advice to you is to drill these right down to the pallet. That's what I did. A couple of them didn't go through, and I didn't get them all the way through. Like, I only could get that one, but that's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna get blown away. These straps here, they go right into the foot itself, but I'm gonna get little eye-hook anchors and drill them into the board and then attach these ratchet straps right to the pallets themselves so that it can't take this foot and bend it up, because that's a really common on these shelters, that over time it gets looser, so you tighten this thing, and it brings that foot and just curls it up. It comes completely on the box of the mint scent. It says it only lasts a month, so I recommend changing them out. You can leave the old ones in, but I recommend changing them every month to just help keep the critters away. It's the #1 biggest thing, is keep the critters out of your car in the winter. These dryer sheets, same thing, kind of lose their scent after a couple weeks. I recommend changing them out, taking the old ones out so it doesn't give the critters that they get in there something to bed down in. So one thing you're gonna wanna be careful of and definitely avoid is this tent will come back and rub on the back of your car, and it will take the clear coat off your car. So I recommend, even though it's already covered inside the tent, is get a good car cover for it. Just cover it, that way when the wind's blowing in the winter, it's not gonna take the paint off the back of your car. Well, it's not gonna take it off, it'll take the clear coat off. What I'm probably gonna be doing is putting some thin stakes down in there, just coming up right here, so that this can't blow back into it, because I don't want to put a car cover on my car. I don't want to spend the money, so. And there you go. That's the best way that I feel that you can store your car in the winter without a garage. It's nice, protected. Hopefully no critters are going to get out and inside there for your car in the spring. You know, the fuel system's good for the winter, so you don't have to worry about that, and open it up in the spring, drive it. One last thing is that if you get a big snowstorm, I recommend just coming inside here and just pushing the snow off the roof, because these things will collapse if there is a lot of snow. And then if there's enough snow on the sides, you're going to have to go out and shovel around the sides so that it doesn't cave in either. So fortunately, it's what you got to do if you don't have a garage. Alright, so there it is. The car's all put away for the winter. We'll see it in the spring. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, things I could do better, or things that you do to your car in the winter, leave them down below in the comments.